Good morning. Today we're here at the MEREIA Property Resilience Forum. We have just completed 2 sessions, and I'm just going to be asking some of the attendees what they thought of the interview today. First of all, I'll ask Mr. Tanvir Shah, who is the managing partner at the Real Estate Partnership. Okay, Mr. Tanvir, what did you think of the forum today?
I thought it was very insightful, especially the topic on reserve funds. This is the need of the hour for the industry to have professional reserve funds that are validated as per global standards to ensure that largely institutional investors feel comfortable, the banks, the insurance industry, on what the real value of the asset is going long term.
Excellent. Do you think that the property inspections are beneficial?
Yes, I believe they are. Given the different type of asset classes that we have in the country and across the region today, we do need to ensure that every asset class has a long-term functional life that protects the owners and the users. A forum like MEREIA and this conference bring the key questions to the fore, which will help us ensure that we can protect the interests of every stakeholder on that asset.
Thank you. And how do you think this will benefit the market?
First and foremost, I think it will help bring global institutional investors to the market in a larger number. As emerging markets open up, as we see real estate funds targeting assets in emerging markets, we will need to ensure that we meet global standards on real estate valuation, real estate inspection, on reserve funds, to ensure that an institutional investor with a 10-year or a 15-year horizon, especially the large pension funds, feel comfortable that the asset is protected in this market.
Excellent. And since you're in the real estate market, how do you think this is going to help you in terms of your business and your?
This will definitely help us have comfortable conversations around long-term investments with all stakeholders that we deal with. We are largely a strategy consulting firm that helps the community, the development community, the ecosystem, if I may, build for the long term. And the conversation will become easier once it is supported by the government, once it's a regulated industry-wide standard that is accepted across the market. So it'll help standardize the conversation, I would guess.
How about in terms of your business? You're in the real estate. I know you've explained how it will regularize the market. How about on your database, if you own an agency, am I correct?
No.
A brokerage?
No. Strategy consultant.
Okay. How will it benefit your job, your day-to-day, your business specifically?
Well, it just makes the conversation a lot easier. On a daily basis, a reserve fund conversation in any other market is a daily conversation in the real estate ecosystem. So for us, when we are advising, let's say, a real estate developer on how he should scale his balance sheet, this is primarily, people need to understand, this is a balance sheet conversation. This is a flow of money conversation, especially the reserve fund component of it. If you don't have the money for it on your balance sheet, then you cannot provide for good intentions as well. So if you do want to replace that HVAC system or element of an HVAC system, you do need to have created a reserve for it. So when we have conversations on balance sheets, which is a daily conversation, we will have certain standards that need to be met. If it's a government regulated environment, then the conversation becomes a lot easier. It's a one-sentence conversation. Here is the mandate, you must follow it. Rather than convincing and elaborating on why the mandate would exist or should exist. So I believe the conversations will become easier as we progress. It's a growing market, and I'm very hopeful of this development.
Going on to a little bit of a different topic, Mr. Douglas, the president-elect of MEREIA, explained what MEREIA does. Can you tell us how this will affect your industry and what you do? Will it benefit it, or what do you think are the...
So I do advise banks in the Middle East, and I believe the banking community that lends to real estate will feel far more comfortable that their money is in good hands, their asset is being protected, because the lending on a real estate asset is based on current central bank norms on loan to value. There is a buffer for the value of the asset to decrease and the banks to still be protected. However, as we go on a long-term loan, you need far more aspects to come into the play, one of which is a reserve fund. So I believe the banking sector, the lending community, the insurance community will be benefited by this association and regulations down the line as and when we come to it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tanvir, for your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.